Technion researchers found evolution favors flatter paths when multiple routes offer equal fitness. This is Planetterrian Daily, episode 165. Technion scientists published findings in Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, showing organisms do not choose evolutionary routes at random when several paths yield equal fitness. Instead, selection favors paths with lower barriers or smoother transitions. The work examined fitness landscapes to explain observed patterns in adaptation across microbial systems. Future studies will test whether this bias holds across additional microbial and multicellular systems. Now, shifting to phage therapy research. Researchers at TwinCore, the RESIST Cluster of Excellence, and the Helmholtz Institute for RNA-based Infection Research modeled bacteriophage therapy dynamics to optimize cocktail composition against multi-drug resistant bacteria. The approach uses viruses that infect and destroy target bacteria, with early high-dose diverse mixtures reducing the chance of resistance emergence. The study examined how phage combinations interact with bacterial populations over time and published results in Nature Communications. Next steps include testing optimized cocktails in clinical settings where conventional antibiotics fail. On a different note, heat-tolerant coral partners show higher disease susceptibility. Boston University researchers reported that corals hosting heat-resistant algae survive warming but face elevated disease risk. The trade-off appears in field observations across temperature-stressed reefs. The study measured both thermal tolerance and pathogen load in paired coral colonies. Conservation strategies must now weigh this vulnerability when selecting resilient strains. Shifting to mechanical triggers of protein changes, Japanese experiments demonstrated that proteins accumulate and misfold when forced through confined spaces under flow. The resulting amyloid structures resemble those linked to certain diseases. The work used microfluidic devices to replicate cellular crowding conditions. Follow-on studies will explore whether similar mechanical triggers operate in vivo. Next up, a vibration-driven catalyst for carbon dioxide conversion. University of Osaka engineers created a barium titanate catalyst coated with a metal organic framework that concentrates carbon dioxide near copper reaction sites. Ultrasonic vibration activates the material, achieving nearly 5-fold higher conversion rates to carbon monoxide. The design exploits mechanical energy to drive the reaction. Scaling tests will assess performance under continuous industrial conditions, from engineered systems that exploit physical forces to natural systems that recruit beneficial organisms. Penn State researchers tested how different cover crop species alter plant defenses and attract predatory insects. Certain mixes increase populations of insects that consume harmful caterpillars. The study measured both pest pressure and predator recruitment across experimental plots. Growers can now select cover crop combinations that strengthen biological control, from field-scale ecological interactions to evolutionary patterns that shape adaptation. Most people picture evolution as a random walk that tries every available genetic change with equal chance. In reality, when several mutations deliver the same fitness gain, natural selection consistently favors the route with the gentlest slope. Right now, inside every microbial population in soil or your gut, lineages are navigating these landscapes, and the flatter ones win more often. The Technion work quantified this bias across multiple model systems and showed it is not an artifact of particular species. One memorable detail is that the preference appears even when the final fitness number is identical, meaning the journey itself carries a selective cost. The practical takeaway is that future predictions of how bacteria or crops will adapt under pressure should incorporate landscape shape rather than assume uniform randomness. Watch for new models that embed this rule when forecasting resistance spread or climate-driven range shifts. Researchers captured the real-time formation of oxygen vacancies that determine data storage capability in emerging memory materials. These microscopic defects arise when oxygen atoms leave normal lattice positions, directly affecting conductivity and stability. Controlling vacancy density during fabrication proved critical for reliable device behavior in the tested films. The team plans follow-up work on scalable deposition methods that lock in optimal vacancy levels. A spectroscopy instrument mounted on a moving vehicle achieved reliable real-time methane detection across large areas. The setup identifies hidden emissions from infrastructure without stationary sensors. Field tests confirmed the system maintains accuracy despite motion and varying wind conditions. Developers aim to integrate the technology into routine environmental monitoring fleets. University of Hawaii chemists identified rapid reaction routes that build large aromatic molecules under interstellar conditions. The work addresses how carbon-based building blocks assemble despite low temperatures and sparse densities. Laboratory simulations matched observed abundances in molecular clouds. Further experiments will map additional formation channels relevant to prebiotic chemistry. Osaka researchers modified organic emitters to reduce vibrational energy loss at wavelengths near 1,000 nanometers. The redesign maintains higher radiative efficiency despite the smaller energy gap that normally favors heat over light. Resulting diodes support biomedical imaging and sensing applications. Continued optimization targets commercial brightness and lifetime targets. An HKUST-led analysis of 4,116 cities over 11 years showed coordinated emission reduction efforts improve overall sustainability performance by more than 10%. The study tracked progress toward United Nations Sustainable Development Goals across regional partnerships. Cities sharing data and strategies outperformed isolated efforts. Policymakers are examining how to scale such networks. University of Hawaii researchers documented rising intensity of brief downpours, even as long-term rainfall totals decline. The shift increases flash flood risk on the islands. Analysis of historical records isolated the trend in storm characteristics. Updated risk models will incorporate these changing precipitation patterns. Before we go, keep an eye on follow-up clinical tests of the optimized phage cocktails, now moving towards settings where antibiotics no longer work. That's Planetterrian Daily for today. If you enjoyed this, a rating or review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify really helps new listeners find the show. I'm Patrick in Vancouver. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow. And if you'd rather watch than listen, find us on YouTube at NERA Network. Links in the show notes. This show comes to you from the NERA Network. If you want another sharp daily briefing, Offshore North has you covered. Offshore ocean racing explained every Monday with a Canadian angle. All our shows are free at neranetwork.com. Live dashboards, TSLA, SpaceX launches, the investing scoreboard are all at neranetwork.com data. This episode used AI voice synthesis of my voice. Editorial selection and analysis are my own.